Welcome, everybody. Vegas Profile Stories, and we got a good one for you today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name's Chad Hauer. I'm also known as the TikTok fugitive. I've been wanted by the FBI and Interpol for 17 years. They have tried and failed to extradite me 3 times from multiple countries. Additionally, they've tried abductions which have failed and which resulted in a member of the U.S. Embassy being expelled from the country. I spent time in 5 different Bulgarian prisons during my first extradition, and to this day, they're still chasing me.
A little backstory: you worked for Microsoft.
Yeah, I had a senior position at Microsoft. I was a worldwide regional director, and I was also a regional developer evangelist with a territory of 85 countries and 12 time zones, Microsoft Middle East and Africa.
So that's one of those dream type jobs right there where
it was my dream job, and had the FBI not utterly decimated my career, I still would have been there.
Man. So you're traveling to a bunch of different countries. You meet a woman.
This part's easy to confuse, so I'll just clear it up.
Okay.
So, I am my ex-wife, who I affectionately call Vecna to protect her privacy. Do you watch Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the reference. Some people don't get the reference. So I call her Vecna. Now, we met when I was about 18 or 19. And we got married when I was 20, way too early, shouldn't have happened. And that was in Pennsylvania. And we got married in Kentucky, we moved to Tennessee. Our son was born in Tennessee, and our son only ever lived in Tennessee. I ended up getting full custody of him after the divorce for a variety of reasons. And the judge ordered him to live overseas with me. So he was already living overseas in Europe for several years. And one time I sent him back for summer visitation. And at the end of the summer, she didn't want to return him. And the judge told her, "You have to return him." And she said no. So he sent the police, took him away from her, put him on a plane. And then 2 months later, the same judge laid the foundations to charge me with kidnapping him.
So technically you've been charged with kidnapping, although the judge ordered your son to be returned to you rightfully because you had custody of your son. They got your son, they put him on an airplane to you overseas. And then 2 months later, the judge starts laying groundwork for you to be charged with the kidnapping of your own son.
Yep. And to do this, they fraudulently altered my son's birth state to be Pennsylvania instead of Tennessee. They claim that I'm from Titusville, which is a city that I've never lived in or even spent a single night in my life. Isn't even in the county that I'm from in Pennsylvania originally. And they also stated that I was in the United States November 6, 2006, which I was not.
And November 6th is when your son was put on the airplane to be sent to you?
No, November 6th was when they said I kidnapped him. He was put on the plane September 1st to September 2nd.
See, the government does weird stuff like this, and they get everybody so confused that their hands are up. They're like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to say about it. A lot of times they do it on purpose.
This was done intentionally. A lot of people think this is a mistake, but if you look at the history of this, you look at all the court documents and then dozens of people that have been involved in the Department of Justice and FBI, it's not possible that this is a mistake. It's very clear they knew what they were doing from the get-go. In the federal indictment, it says that I removed him from the United States November 6, 2006. However, in the same indictment, it also says that I was not in the United States since July 2006. And June 2006. And when I was in the U.S. in June 2006, I was not in the state of Pennsylvania. I was in Boston for 1 week. And the reason I was there is I was speaking at Microsoft TechEd for Microsoft, and I was bringing my son to the United States at the same time for her summer visitation. So I brought him with me in June, and he flew on from Boston and ended up Pennsylvania. I stayed in Boston for a week and then went back to Europe.
So when was the first time you caught wind that you were now a wanted man in the United States?
When 4 Interpol agents showed up at my hotel room in Bulgaria and arrested me.
And how did that go? How did that go?
Well, I had a tour of 5 different Bulgarian prisons. They tried to extradite me. That failed. They tried to extradite me again. That failed. They tried to, they bribed a police officer and convinced him that my Caribbean passport was fake. And they did all kinds of things to try and capture me on my way back home to the Caribbean. I came home to the Caribbean eventually after about 3 months. They tried again to extradite me from here and failed. They tried to kidnap my 13-year-old son. And I know how crazy that sounds, but again, I have court documentation regarding this, and he's done news interviews on ABC and Fox where he stated the FBI tried to kidnap him, because he remembers he was 13 years old. It was not like he was 2. So we have all the evidence of that. And a member of the U.S. Embassy by the Attorney General here in the Caribbean was expelled and told never to come back. And if he did, he'd be inside of a Caribbean prison.
Wow. So your son, who's obviously been returned to you, you have since remarried. Your son never left your custody, basically, to come back to the United States, but they've still kept on with this ruse of charging you with kidnapping and having you picked up and wanted by Interpol, so you can't travel.
Correct. They listed him on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and says, if you have any information, call the FBI. And they said they don't know where he is. But his mother visited him here in 2009. The FBI paid for a trip, so she got a free Caribbean vacation. So his mother's been here. I have all kinds of court orders stating they know where we are, but his missing poster says his whereabouts are unknown. And his missing poster was up until age 25. We kept trying to get his missing poster taken down. He even called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. He says, I'm the child in the poster. Take me down. As an adult. So like when he was 25, they said, no, we need a court order. And I have all the exchange. I have the correspondences from this.
Wow.
And they said, no. They said we can't take you down without a court order. So I did a TikTok last July 2022. I tagged the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Within 24 hours, it went viral, by the way. It went viral. They took the poster down within 24 hours and blocked me on TikTok. And we've had people calling them to ask why his poster's been taken down, and they refuse to answer why his poster's now taken down.
So they keep up the ruse. They obviously know where he is. They're sending the mother.
27. Today's his birthday. He's 27 today.
And they're still claiming, and you're still wanted. And now you have medical issues.
Serious medical issues, which I am in dire need of life-saving surgery. I'm on a small island of 35,000 people that is only 50% physically larger than Disney World. Our hospital is extremely minimal. It does not have the surgical equipment I need. The surgical equipment is very large, expensive, and not portable. So I need to be in an air ambulance to travel for surgery. I was supposed to travel years ago, and they're denying me the ability to travel, and they're also denying provide it for me. We've made an offer to turn myself in with 2 conditions. 1, they either allow me to get medical care on my own or provide it to me. And 2, they don't delay the trial so we can go to trial right away. And they said no, absolutely no in court. We've made the offer so many times. And I mean, if they have such hard evidence on me, first of all, why have 3 extraditions failed from multiple countries, number 1? And number 2, isn't 17 years enough to gather any evidence they have against me?
I mean, I would think that they would have already tried you in absentia.
They won't. We've offered that too. We've offered that. They refuse. They will never go to trial because if can you imagine being the prosecutor for the FBI and walking in front of a judge and jury and my lawyer asking him, so what state was the child born in? Well, we lied and we forged his state to be Pennsylvania. What town is Mr. Howard from? Oh, yeah, we lied about that too. We said he's from Titusville, which is actually where his ex-wife kidnapped the child the first time and why he lost custody and where she hid him. Oh, and where was I in November 2006? Oh, he wasn't in the United States either. Sorry, Judge. Oopsie. That's why they're not going to trial.
So if you were to just, I mean, it wouldn't be that easy for you to just show back up in the United States due to the air ambulance thing.
Well, not only that, but they revoked my U.S. passport.
Okay. So you could get this surgery on a different island.
Yeah, in fact, the surgical equipment I need is fairly basic. In fact, even other small islands have it. It's just I'm in one of the smallest countries in the entire world.
Could they bring that equipment to you?
No, it's like the size of an X-ray machine.
Okay.
We had a surgeon come in 2015 and perform surgery. I mean, he saved my life, and I was supposed to get better, but I didn't. And we don't know what my medical condition is. They're fighting over whether it's MSK or RTA or something else, but whatever it is, I'm in trauma levels of pain absolutely every day. I have been passed out numerous times and taken to the hospital, and they've had to revive me.
Wow. And they have a decent enough hospital for what it is, for what St. Kitts is.
Not even for St. Kitts. All the previous governments here have chronically underfunded our hospital. Even for an island our size, our hospital is chronically underfunded. And people here typically have air evacuation insurance. And if you have, I mean, I've had 2 friends within the last 3 years who have been flown out for a single kidney stone. One had a 1 millimeter, one had a 2 millimeter. I passed a 7x7x3 millimeter kidney stone on my own. It nearly killed me several times.
Oh,
hundreds of kidney stones every month, and I post my medical reports. So yeah, my mom almost died from a 2 millimeter kidney stone last year. She's in the U.S., but she ended up in the ICU with sepsis, and she almost died from sepsis. So I have constant kidney and urinary infections. I can be taken out in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, but it's all pain. And people get flown out for a single kidney stone here. They fly up, they go to Antigua or someplace, they get it taken care of, and they come back.
Wow. But if you were to show up there, you would be arrested by Interpol agents and
It'd be
held there.
all over again. So I'd be
Right.
arrested.
Well,
I'd spend months to years in a prison fighting extradition, and then they just send me back here if I lived through that.
I mean, and then you're fighting through whatever health issue you have sitting in Antigua jail, fighting extradition, and then they send you back without the surgery, obviously.
Well, no, they'd probably give me the surgery in Antigua, but I'd catch something else in the Antiguan prison, and we don't have the money to go through that procedure again. To go through an extradition procedure, it's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees to fight off an extradition.
Wow. So they have you in this stalemate almost. They've cornered you, and there's nowhere you can go, and there's nowhere they can go. What's the answer? I know you've given a lot of thought to this.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.